Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all. It's a great honor and very flattering to receive. I would have just accepted dinner with all of you as an honor that would cap off my career. I accept this on the understanding that broadcast journalism is a team sport, and that I had the very good fortune of signing on with a small franchise many years ago that was young but very ambitious. It was expanding, and it was growing into the NPR that we know today. And I feel that by honoring me, you are literally honoring NPR and a great many of my friends and former colleagues there, many of whom are here this evening. Too many for me to identify, but I would just like to single out our former president, Kevin Close, who made us a stable, well-endowed organization, and two producers, Julia Buckley and Margaret Lowe, who over the years made me sound like a much better reporter than I think I was. I want to take this opportunity, though, to put in a word for somebody I met on the job 10 years ago this month. That was in 2008 when All Things Considered went to Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province in China, to spend several weeks preparing reports that we aired in a special week. It was organized by Chris Turpin, who's here, who was then our executive producer. And he deserves it. And in Chengdu, I met a guy named Wang Qi, who for several years ran a news website out of his home city. He ran it in the years when he wasn't behind bars. I interviewed him at his apartment in Chengdu. He'd already done 5 years in prison for what he wrote on the 10th anniversary of the Tiananmen protest suppression. He also wrote about what happened to some members of Falun Gong and a very odd case in which a very large number of Chinese workers had involuntary and unnecessary appendectomies. Go figure. As I say, for that, he'd done 5 years in prison. When I interviewed him, he was advocating for peasants, they would say, who were victimized by land grabs, cheap take-it-or-leave-it offers for their homes from local officials who would then sell their communes to developers who would build very lucrative high-rise construction. And after I met those people and did a story about them, Sichuan province had the event that we hadn't counted on when we planned our trip to Chengdu. It was a 7.9 magnitude earthquake, which I happened to experience on the 27th floor of a Sheraton hotel. Wang Qi instantly went into a new gear and published the claims of parents, bereaved parents, that the schoolhouses that had collapsed in the earthquake had collapsed because of shoddy construction, perhaps because of local corruption. For that, Wang Qi served time again. He went free after a couple of years, resumed work on the website, and in late 2016, he was arrested once again and absurdly charged with passing state secrets to foreign countries. He's been in detention ever since. He's reported to be in extremely poor health, and the lawyer who had a great deal of difficulty getting in touch with him has since been disbarred. It occurs to me that when we in this country exercise and defend our freedoms to report, to broadcast, to publish, we set an example for courageous people around the world whose governments are accustomed to silencing people like Wang Qi. And when our leaders belittle those freedoms, or when our public belittles those freedoms, they risk setting an example for those who would do the silencing. So may our efforts on behalf of freedom of the press succeed at home, and may they continue to inspire abroad, and may we see an end to the jailing of any people whose crime is to commit journalism. Thank you very much for your attention and for this wonderful award.